Hey guys, welcome to Movie McLovers, and this is called Blank. That's right, Blank. Hey Ahmed,
Hello.
dude, this Pepsi's not even like.
It's never ending.
I know, man.
Yeah. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about why are indie productions
Why indie movies
so
so good?
indie productions,
Movies.
because we're also going to talk about video games today. So,
That's a
why
new
are
video.
indie productions so
Okay,
good?
so what I think is that indie movies genuinely have a feel of determination to them, a drive. You see independent filmmakers, right? Independent filmmakers are always trying to get their movies off the ground, and they always try and write the best script they can and try and, master their direction as best as they can in order to make, a movie that they feel is really, really great. But the thing is, they don't have financial backing. So, they try as much as they can. As opposed to Hollywood, who think that they can do whatever they want, pull out Michael Bay and make him write a script, and then pull out Shia LaBeouf and make him do a movie. That's why independent movies are much better, because they actually have determination and drive. Okay?
Yeah,
Is that
but
the same for video games?
well, first of all, for video games, you have many indie studios that are actually very successful indie studios and making a whole lot of money. But you still often find that indie studios are, better than many of the double AAA games. And I don't think it's so much as the drive of wanting to make something good, because anyone can. I mean, I think most people, when they produce something, they would want to make it a sort of like exceptional production. But with video games, I mean, the publishers are usually the ones that screw things up, whether it's for movies or for video games, because they always want certain things. They always, they're like, no, don't do this, do that. No, don't. Okay, we don't want this. This is too much of a big risk. And what's happening is that in the video game industry, especially, and I think this is also happening in the film industry, because a few years ago I wouldn't have heard of an indie movie.
Exactly.
And now, like last
And, like,
night,
okay,
last
listen,
night we
yeah.
watched Worst Year in New York. And I think
Most violent, you fucking idiot.
most violent year in New York. Okay, so.
But listen, I think that, like, okay, so you didn't, for example, I go on Wikipedia and I go, upcoming movie 2014, and I did that last year. I didn't see Whiplash. I didn't see, those kind of movies. But
And
this year, they're appearing on my top 10 list, coming at number 2.
yeah, because
I mean, they're so great and powerful. And I think that the drive for independent movies is to make art. Maybe not all Hollywood movies are made for money, but like Scorsese, you have Tarantino, they make it loving film. But I think independent filmmakers genuinely have that sense of, I want to make a work of art. I just don't want to do this for money.
But you have to remember that, I mean, independent movies were always like this. And why are they getting so big now? And why are independent games becoming so big now? And I think that's because what's happening is people are getting sick of the publisher just wanting to do the same thing because it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so we're having like all these generic first-person shooters, and these haven't been winning Game of the Year awards lately. All the beer awards have been going to Transistor, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, Divinity.
And that's like Whiplash. Whiplash has like a 93% because of like a stunning performance, a director, and also Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is an independent movie. That guy had to go through such a long process to get this movie made, and he really wanted to make such a powerful movie. And in the end, the hard work pays off. Whereas like Hollywood, like you have Transformers and Twilight, all these big budget movies, and these movies are just made. They're just made, let's just put this through, just make more crap for the public.
I think a perfect example of this would be The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, because The Lord of the Rings,
two different things.
When Peter Jackson was trying to get Lord of the Rings and get some studio to sort of fund this, he had to go around to many studios. Then he went to New Line Cinema and he was like, "Here's my script." They told him okay, and then he just went and he gathered. I mean, that's why most of the cast in Lord of the Rings are very well known.
No one knew them, yeah, except for Ian McKellen.
I mean, like that. I mean, yeah. So people didn't know these actors, and then what happens is that it makes a lot of money. Now he wants to make The Hobbit. During The Hobbit, he gets funded. He's doing it not because he really wants to do this film, but he's doing
it for money, and that's evident of Evangeline Lilly's appearance and Orlando Bloom's performance just to attract the attention. Look at Lord of the Rings. Look at how much he like. You can see. You know when you watch the movie, you can see how much work he put into it. I mean, he put into work in The Hobbit, of course, but this work in Lord of the Rings, it felt pure. It felt good, unlike The Hobbit.
And in The Lord of the Rings, you originally wanted it to be in 2 movies, and then New Line Cinema told them, why would we want it to make 2? Just make it 3. All right, because originally people didn't want to fund a 3-movie project because it's more expensive. And so in The Hobbit, and so Lord of the Rings is like 1,000, like over 1,000 pages. All right, but then in The Hobbit, the 200 pages makes it into 3 movies. And
I mean, yeah, that is just cash grab.
I think, yeah, that's very evident of cash grab. And I think, as I said, people are just starting to get sick of that. Like now that it's become it became very mainstream.
But how do you explain 1 billion box office on Transformers?
Well, like
an independent movies like Nightcrawler are only getting like 30 million. 5 million. It's ridiculous because people are stupid and they don't value independent movies, and I think that's a really bad thing at the moment, and it's sickening.
Well, I don't think. I mean, it's the same with video games, obviously, where you have games like Call of Duty making billions of dollars, and then indie games that are.
But like Call of Duty, like they promise what they promise, and they do deliver. So like,
yeah, that's why it doesn't get low reviews. And that's why it gets 8s instead of 6s, because they didn't promise more than that. They promised this, and they did exactly what they said they would, which wasn't exactly very great things that they said they would do, and they said that they would accomplish. And I think, and that's sort of slowing down the gaming industry and slowing down the movie industries, where people are they're too scared to try more, and so they just promise very little and
I think they're too lazy.
Very little.
They're
I
too
think
lazy.
It's too scared.
They're too lazy, and that's the thing. When you're too lazy, you can't make a good movie, and that's a problem.
I don't think it's lazy. I think it's just as hard to make the typical video game or in the typical movie as it is to make a great movie. It's just the ideas that are being put in are
no, because you know why? On a big budget movie, there are so many people.
Yeah, but there are many examples.
There are so many people.
There are many examples of great big budget movies, but I think what it is that people don't want to take the risks. That's what it is.
So independent movies. Yeah, obviously they do take bigger risks. They, put their heart and soul in the movies.
I think,
and they produce something great.
It's that risk that what makes them so good. It's them trying to, because you can't make a good indie game and make money off of it without making something new.
And this is like Peter Jackson all over again. Lord of the Rings was all about risk. Like 90 million they put in the first 3 movies each. And then you go to The Hobbit. This guy can get any funding he wants after Lord of the Rings. He put 250 million in each movie. I mean, that was...
And
disgusted.
And so yeah, I think it's taking the risk to do something new is what's attracting people to indie productions these days.
I think so.
Right.